Hey guys, it's been a while, and I'm sure after nearly 2 years with zero content, in fact, no content whatsoever, because literally every video on here, old and new, has been nuked, you might want some explanation for why I just suddenly dropped off the earth, so to speak. So here it is. So long-time subscribers will know that back in 2017, I took a long break from YouTube because I was stressed. I felt really burnt out from making videos like 2 a month, I think I was making at the time. I didn't have any original ideas or any original stuff to make, so I just figured, okay, I need to take a break from this. Goodbye, I'll come back later. And in 2019, I once again began to feel that same feeling I had, only this time it was much more intense and much more just visceral to me. And so, as the months went on, I gradually lost my interest in making political videos and ran out of worthwhile ideas. I just said, fuck it, I'm leaving. But of course, this isn't just the only reason for why I left. On top of this, I just found that years upon years of just existing in politics online really depresses you. Like, really. And I know what you're thinking, but it's not actually drama. It's actually something much deeper than that. And what I mean is, when you're creating content for, I guess, anything, but I think especially politics, because it's much more, of a struggle sort of sense. When you create content, it either isn't affecting that much, relatively speaking, or you end up becoming what I can only really describe as a brand. And, really what I have seen as the left has gotten much bigger, brandification and idol worship has just become something I've exponentially just grown to hate and loathe and avoid, which, largely explains why I just decided to leave. I don't like making stuff that I love for money. You will initially love it, don't get me wrong, and some people honestly have no choice, and I don't blame them, but what I am going to say is long term, it's really fucking hazardous for your health. And more importantly, just your outlook and your perspective, it changes the more that money becomes involved in your life, and it's not good, and you will burn yourself out. I'm not very good at, articulating myself, and this is kind of hard to explain, but I hope some of you get it, that I just find the whole guy educates you on socialism thing, genre, whatever, just a little bit cringe sometimes. Especially when I look back on things, and even, looking at some contemporary newcomers, I don't know. I just get the feeling sometimes certain people are maybe more interested in becoming YouTubers than, they are with the whole struggle. And I see that exemplified in the way that they respond to stuff or respond to invitations or, in the stuff that they do. And I don't like that. And of course, it's also very depressing because you're seeing people make all the same mistakes and errors that you once made, and you're powerless to stop it. And yeah, I think that really tops it. When you get that, it's just, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Some other reasons to sort of give context to this whole thing is that along with this, I sort of suffer quite a lot from a huge bout of imposter syndrome. I don't like getting praise, I can't handle it very well, and I don't enjoy having content out there that I feel is just going to mislead people. I have heard some people say, they can enjoy some of my videos for what they are, despite their problems, and they can see past that. That's great, I love that. The issue is that when we're talking about YouTube, we're talking about more than just, individuals. We're talking about mass dynamics. It is my belief, and there might be science that proves me wrong, but I don't know. It is my belief that most people do not ponder what a topic is, go to YouTube, click on the first link and go, this video was released a few years ago. They might have changed their views. It might be a bit outdated. I'll bear this in mind when determining my view. Most people, when they see a video on class or class explained, they go, that person looks like an authority on this. I know what class is all about now. I don't need anything else to know. I've got it. And you know it. You know it. Okay? This is how a lot of us act. We just see something said by normally a strong, well-spoken white guy and go, ah, this person knows what they're saying. Damn right. Solid dick. I got it. So as much good as some videos might be, if there's some misleading or outdated information in there, it's not something that I personally feel comfortable with. And there's probably like one very glaring example of this. I made a video some time ago on the DDR, East Germany. I really do not understand what was going through my head when I made that video. It definitely came across differently in my mind than what actually came out in the editing room when I uploaded it. Whatever I ended up making was not something I feel too proud of today. And it is like my most popular video. It went viral. I don't want people to know that. Later on, realizing this, I saw people on Twitter, saying, oh, hey, this guy made that really good video on East Germany. And I just had to step in and I had to go, look, it's not proper. Stop treating it like this. Many other people are going to see that video and they're going to go, oh, that's great. And they're not going to have me to give them that addendum. And this is just one of many examples where this happens. And after a while, I just decided, well, if I stop making them, if I blacklist my entire YouTube, I don't need to worry about that, do I? And since doing that, I, to be perfectly honest, haven't had many regrets. Other videos are, quite informational, but bring me back to quite a bad place, let's say. My Unheard Voices of the Mena video was made with a collaborator. As just some of you might know, I was quite slow to realize that this person was, quite frankly, a massive narcissist who I mistook at the time and, pushed to the side as just, somebody who was silenced and somebody who was a minority and somebody who needed a voice. And they would often leverage their status both during and after making the video and even around my Discord to block legitimate criticism and just control the discussion, and it made everyone really uncomfortable. I'm still glad that I made the video though, and to be perfectly honest, I've met other people from the Middle East through that video who are, so much better than what I had to work with. And, it created a really, really, fresh take on a less known subject. But, let's be perfectly honest, certain parts, like the bit about the Kurds, was truthfully quite a bit opportunistic, and I ultimately only have myself to blame for that. Also, I'm relatively old right now, and I have a lot of my professional life ahead of me, and I don't really want my face to just be paraded around with a bunch of cringy videos that I made when I was in my early 20s. And it'll happen to you. So just a final little point that I just want to make, because a lot of people just keep saying this about me, and, I understand because I did sort of change my politics a few times, but just to get it out in the open, I'm not a Maoist. I've never been a Maoist. I don't know if I ever will be a Maoist. Recommending Mao's texts as useful or highlighting Mao strategies or pointing out that most people don't know what the hell Maoism even is in the West does not make one a Maoist in the same way that it would apply to any other discipline. Sadly, this is the internet, and if you mention Lenin, you're a Leninist now, or you mention Boriga, you're a left communist now. That is the way the internet is. Enough people already love to gander at my politics. I don't take stock in political labels these days specifically because I've learned from this experience. It doesn't mean, by the way, that taking labels is bad. It just means, what's that whole thing, supermarket of ideology shit. The ultimate sad thing is that I'm going to say all of this in as well put a way that I possibly can, and many people are just going to interpret it in the wrong way than what I intended. Oh, he left because everybody else is a grifter, he left because YouTube isn't working, etc., and that's going to happen. I have to accept that these days, in the words of Tom Scott, you will never be able to explain yourself properly to everybody, or whatever it was. That's largely why I've left. I don't like having to, do that. And it's largely why I haven't felt like I want to talk about why I left in such a while. What's the bloody point? And actually, I think that's the TLDR reason for why I left. Oh, what's the bloody point? But then that's just me.